G'day guys, Matty Sims here, and welcome to a brand new save on Football Manager 2019, where we are with Seattle Sounders in the MLS. And this is the first time I've actually ever managed in the MLS on a Football Manager game, so it's going to be very interesting to see how we go. I'm very excited for this, so before we get into it, let's run the intro.
And win! Fight and win! Seattle Sounders, here we go!
Hope you guys enjoyed the new intro for this new save. Put a little bit of work into it, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But this is the squad that we currently have assembled at the club at the moment. And yeah, it's a pretty decent team. We'll go through it one by one. First off, with the goalkeeper. So in this episode, it will just be an introduction to the club and maybe a few transfers that I think that we need to bring into the team. So yeah, I'll get into all that in a moment. But first, we'll just go through the players that we currently have. So goalkeeper, we've got a very decent goalkeeper, Swiss goalkeeper in Stefan Fry. You see 3.5 stars here. You know, good goalkeeper, very solid. In our tactic, which I'll go through, he's playing on Superkeeper support, so it doesn't really fit him as much as I'd hoped, but definitely a solid goalkeeper. He's played in America his whole career, so he is Swiss, which was he born in Switzerland and yeah, lived in America. So does he have any senior caps? No senior caps. So surprisingly, that he doesn't have any senior caps in America, but yeah, you know, quality player. Played in America his whole career and Canada, I guess, with Toronto. So yeah, solid goalkeeper. But next up, we'll go with Calvin Leodam. Can play everywhere, you know, not everywhere greatly, but can play everywhere. And he's a solid right back. Crossing and dribbling's a bit low. You'd like a bit more, but yeah, physicals are great, technicals are mentals are great, and you know he's important. In technicals, in marking, passing, tackling, technique are all good. We don't play with defensive midfielders, but he can play as a midfielder. You know, box to box maybe. You know, solid. So can't complain with him either at right back. We'll go with Kim Ki-hee next, centre back, our ball playing defender, and South Korean, 23 caps, solid centre back, international experience as well. His information. He is actually, so yeah, he is South Korean. He is one of our international players as well. He's just signed for the club in this save at the start of this season. So yeah, from Shanghai Shenhua. Doesn't have any fee, so I guess undisclosed, or maybe it was just a free transfer. But he's been mostly in South Korea, but he's also played in Qatar and China. So yeah, a bit of an experienced centre-back for us, and getting that big international move out of Asia over to the MLS is Kim Ki-hee. Next is Chad Marshall, who is the captain, 33 years old. Might need to look at easing him out of the squad at the end of this season, but a quality centre-back, still 12 caps for America, 30 under 20 caps as well. So a quality international experienced centre-back. Pace, you know, he lacks pace, but everything else is top notch. So definitely a quality centre back, and hopefully we can get the best out of him as his career comes down to an end. Next up is the Australian Brad Smith. Now, one of the reasons why Seattle interests me so much was because of this player. Brad Smith is a quality left back. Unlucky in many eyes, you know, he's only got the 16 caps for Australia. He's a quality player who injuries have hurt him a lot. You know, he started at Liverpool. If we're going to history here, started at Liverpool. You know, I think he made his debut against Chelsea, and never really got a chance at Liverpool. And fair enough, you know, it's a big club, but moved to Bournemouth and only had the 5 games, and then injuries killed him. But as you can see here, it's a bit glitched, I guess, because he's moved on loan to Seattle in real life, and now it's sort of mixed up. But yeah, so he's on loan now at Seattle. They should fix that though. That's a bit strange since it is the start it's technically start of a new season, you know. But yeah, so quality left back. We'll just take another look at him. Cannot complain with him at all. Great physicals. You know, he's probably a championship level left back playing in the MLS, and quality physicals, pace for days. He's going to get up and down that left hand side so much. And you know what? If we have to chuck him up, you know, on the left wing, doesn't really have that there, but you know, as a winger, he's quality as well. So definitely looking forward to having him on that left hand side, and hopefully we can get him on a permanent deal when his loan deal ends. Next up in the midfield, first off, is Gustav Svensson. He's a centre back or holding midfielder, half back, I guess, by trait. But we're going to play him as a. What are we playing him as? We'll figure it out soon. But I think it's central midfielder on defend. But don't quote me on that, because we're going to play 4-2-3-1. Just suits the current players that we have. But it might change if we can get some players in. But we'll take a quick look at the tactic. I just need to figure out this. I should have done this before, but. So central midfield on defend. Sneak peek at the tactic there. So central midfield on defend, you know, perfect. Mentals are amazing. Physicals are great. Lacks acceleration, but pace 11, so that's good. It's a green. Marking 11, 14 marking, 11 passing, 15 tackling. So even if he has to play centre back, he can fill that role as a centre back perfectly. Just lacks a bit of height for centre back. But 16 caps for Sweden, so another international player in the squad, which is amazing. Next up is Christian Walden, American central midfielder. He's wanted. Who's he wanted by? LA Galaxy. Well, I don't think we'll be getting rid of him because he is our deep line playmaker on support and quality player. First touch has to improve a little bit, but he is 22. Already 3 caps for the USA men's national team, but everything else is amazing. I reckon he's a player we could definitely sell off in the future and maybe get some money out of. Maybe not to another MLS club, but I definitely think to a European club because I think he is a quality player and valued at 3.7. I think that's a bit harsh. If he can get his physicals worked out, but that's probably his only weakness, I'd say, and maybe a few technicals. But yeah, definitely a quality youngster. At 22, maybe not a youngster, but I think, definitely a quality player to have in the team. Next up, we'll leave our 3 star players for last. But next up, Harry Shipp, definitely an area of the field we want to improve, but he is a master at the twister and advanced playmaker. So if he is what we have to go with this season, you know, I won't be too disappointed, but we still have a designated player position available. So we can spend some cash. I haven't looked at our finances or our transfer budget yet. I was going to do that in this episode, so I want to surprise myself with you guys watching along. But a decent player, you know, to say the least. Dribbling 12, first touch 11, free kick taken as well, which is good. Passing 13. Physicals he's lacking a bit, but definitely everywhere else he's a quality player. And maybe if he was a couple of years younger, then he, maybe would have a bit of rating. But I reckon now we'll just go through our 3 star players. Let's start off with Nicolas Ladero, and he can play across the front midfield 3 and in the centre of midfield as well. Mazzella. I love myself a Mazzella. You guys know that. Deep line playmaker as well, but we're going to be playing him as an inside forward on the right here, and he's just a quality player. 53 caps for Uruguay. He's 28, so he's come in his prime, Nicolas Ladero, and just a quality player. Amazing physicals. A couple mentals like composure and anticipation. A bit low at 10, but everything else is just amazing. And what a player to have in this team, I must say. What an absolute star player to have. And I can't wait to have him banging in the goals and assists for us in this save. Next up, we'll go with Victor Rodriguez, a Spanish left winger. Going to play as an inside forward as well on support on that right-hand side there. And another quality player. Where's he played out previously? So Spain, all of his career, just at Gijon. So actually, he was at Seattle last season. He only got 7 games. I guess he came after January, I'd say. And January, 7 games, 2 goals in 7 games. Hasn't been as prolific, but I definitely think he's a quality player. And just by looking at his stats, I think we can get the best out of him as well. And I think he is one of our designated players along with Ladero. So 2 quality players already that are in attack. And that's MLS. I'll go back onto him. You need a lot of players who can play a lot of positions. And again, he can play as a 10. He can play as an inside forward on right or a winger. So a quality player to have in the team. And I'm excited as well to see how many goals and assists he can get for us. Next up, we'll go with our last player who, out of the best 11, I haven't really worked out the bench yet or players, who, could sort of fill those roles, but it doesn't really matter. We'll go through the best starting 11 that we have. And Raul Rudiaz, Peruvian international, guys, 32 caps, only the 4 goals, but I do think he is a quality player. And if you just look at his ability, physicals are amazing. At 5'6", he ain't going to be scoring any headers. And with 6 heading, he won't be doing any of that. But a quality player, a quality striker. And that's why I'll show you. He can link up play. Passing 13, first touch 15. He's just a star player. And if we look at his history here, in Mexico last season, 20 goals in 38 games. The season before, 20 goals in 34 games. So he's definitely prolific. And in Peru, he was banging in the goals, 10 in 9, 12 in 13, 5 in 20. But, he definitely enjoyed his best spells for Univ Deportes. And I think he's just a quality player. That 21 goals in 39 games. A star player. 27 as well, so in his prime. And I think we're definitely going to get the best out of him. I feel we will definitely be getting the best out of him. Well, that's enough for the players. I'll go into the tactic now, and I'll show you what we're going to play here. So it's called the 4-2-3-1 Sounders, and complete wing backs, 4-2-3-1, 2 inside forwards, an advanced playmaker. So if we're going into the tactic here in depth, play at defence, and we're going to have the overlapping fullbacks. That's important because it's going to be shorter passing, but be more expressive. Work the ball into the box, but always look for that pass that can unlock a defence, and that's hopefully what we can get out of this. I've got the 2 inside forwards sitting narrower. So Ship, I've actually got to edit one thing out of here and hold up ball. So what I want Ship to get the ball, just drop into here and have these 2 guys coming right into this space here with Rui Diaz pushing all the way up, getting in behind and trying to create as many chances as possible. Distribute to centre backs, distribute quickly, all of this stuff. And we're going to be playing a high line. We're going to be getting extremely urgent. I think we can do it with these players. And I think we've got a quality team, and I can't wait to get into our first game, which will be in the next episode, along with our transfer roundup. But we'll go into the finances now. I don't want to make this episode too long. We're going about 13 minutes now. But overall balance, 31 million, amazing. Wage budget, currently spending 179,000 of 192. Committed spending is 181. Next season's wage budget will go up to 190 per week. What we might do is, I'll do it after, I will change it to US dollars, because we're playing in the US. We might as well get that specific, US dollar right there. But 90% of transfer revenue is made available, which is great. And we've got 3.4 million in the bank to spend. So your scouting budget is pretty high as well, which is good. That's amazing. If you're watching my Journeyman Save, I'm not sure when this will come out, but we are at a club. We've been at clubs that haven't had any money, and it's been tough. So it's amazing that we're at a club now that has some amazing finances. And we'll go check a look at the income. Well, nothing yet. Expenditure, of course, 28,000 already this month. Can we see what's the sponsors? What sponsors do we have? General, 1.4 million, and main kit sponsor, 3.4 million. So that is some quality. Total revenue of 20.5 over 15 years, and 13.75 over 4 years. So salary cap is 66,000 per week, and we're currently spending 54,000. So we've got 12k left of the salary cap, plus a designated player. So general allocation money, 600,000 available. So we're going to learn all this stuff, throughout the season. But I think I've got a pretty decent understanding. In Australia, we have the salary cap and stuff. I know there's a few different rules and stuff with this, but I might just do the bare minimum sort of thing. But 600,000 allocation money, which I think means we are able to get a third designated player. We've just got to give that, I think. Is that what it is? Anyway, what I will do is I'll have a gaze. I'll have a gaze. I have a look at the rules and stuff in depth behind the scenes, But I think projection. We'll just take a look at that. So projected to make a profit, which is good, I guess. And anything else? We'll go into competitions and we'll take a look at the league table and the season preview as we always do. Where they think we're going to finish. So they think we're going to finish third overall out of both Western and Eastern conferences, which is pretty good, to say the least. It's optimistic, but that's a good thing, and you got to have that optimism, I guess, heading into a new season. Any key players? Raul Rui Diaz, Nicolas Ladero, and that's it. So only got the two of them. They think highlight star players Andre Blake, goalkeeper for Philadelphia and Jamaican. Solid goalkeeper, that's for sure. Definitely a solid goalkeeper. So we'll take a look at the rules as well. So squad registration, here we go. Maximum of 30 players to be registered. Roster compliance dates, doesn't matter. Players released after this date will contribute to the salary cap if they are on guaranteed contracts. After this date, players' contracts will be considered guaranteed if the player turns 24 during the calendar year and has spent at least one complete season in the MLS. Okay, so does that mean if we sign a player and then release them, and they're under the age of 24, they're not on guaranteed contract? I think that's what it means. Salary cap 66,000. So designated players who are at least 24 years old during the calendar year only count 8,250 per week towards the salary cap, regardless of the total wages. That is 24 years old during the calendar and have been signed from mid-season onwards have a salary cap impact. So the designated players, they still impact the salary cap, but not their whole wage. Okay, that's one thing that's different, because in Australia, like the designated player, it's called marquee player here, none of their wage impacts the salary cap. They are completely out. But so we've got to keep an eye on that. So we can probably get one, maybe two players now into the team. Clubs will not have to buy the third designated player roster slot to accommodate a young designated player. Okay. But yeah, I think that's all prize money. I guess because 7th to 11th? Why is it only have those? Anyway, we'll figure it out. It's Continental, North American Champions League, MLS Cup, top team from Major League Soccer, summed points, winner of that US Cup final. And yeah, okay, all good. I think that's it. We do have a little bit of transfer news already, which is good. So just a couple of players from the Sounders Academy and Seattle too. So Ray Serrano, an attacking midfielder. I think he's quality already. He can't play any position, which is strange. But at 15 years old, 11 first touch, 13 passing, 11 technique, 14 decision making. Physicals look pretty solid already. I think he can at least be on the bench for a few games this season. And we also have a winger in Kevin Rowe. So he's a regen already as well. But great physicals, crossing at 14, free kick taken at 14. Mentals have to improve, of course. But I definitely think these two guys are quality youngsters for the future, both 15 and 16 years. So, yeah, can't wait, guys. I'm excited to do some trades. I'll let you guys know how I go with them in the next episode and stuff like that. But I'm excited. This is a new save for me, a new challenge. As you know, we've been doing the Journeyman, and we also tried the rebuild of Catania, which failed miserably. And I'm not looking for that to happen again. I've learnt from those mistakes. of the Rebuild Catania save, and I'm definitely excited, very excited to start this new challenge at Saddle Sounders in the MLS, and hopefully we can win some silverware in our first season, the US Cup. All the we can't. Do we play that MLS Supporters Shield? So around the top of the league. So is it like a group stage thing? Okay. Oh, MLS Supporters Shield. Okay, I think I know what that is. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I'm excited, guys. Oh, so that's right. MLS Supporters Shield is the league, and then sort of thing. I get it. I'm all good. I'm up to date. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit here. If you guys enjoy the video, drop a like. I'd love to get like 10 likes on this video. That would be amazing. So please, guys, like it. My Twitter and Twitch are in the description below. As you guys know, I'm always playing some FIFA or anything on there, And I'm going to start playing some new games on Twitch. So make sure you follow me there to keep updated. And on Twitter, I'm always tweeting out what I'm doing next and just about sport in general. So follow me over there as well. But comment on the video and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next episode.